Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Big show tonight. Yes, man. Rich justice versus poor justice in Jamaica. Hit the like as you come, family. Doreen, big up yourself. Big up to everybody. Welcome back to the Steady Show. We are live again, folks. Load up, load up, load up, load up, load up.
Dennis Gordon, all you for inner tax fraud. In our parliament,
load up.
To help we law. Here be no good people, we know them and no good people. If I never to help no good, we wouldn't want a vehicle. Them talk about time, come out them way back.
Steady Show live. Let me know who's there right now.
One of them a devil and them forget mine. Get the 4 term, it a go blow them mind. Blow them mind, it a go blow them mind.
That is it. Welcome, welcome back to the Steady Show, one and all. So we're not even waiting, you know. I want to say big up to Just Set Up, big up to everybody. Happy Friday. Hope it's been a great Friday. Hope it's been a great week. Well, folks, it looks like justice is running in Jamaica again because we are seeing that Maitland gets life with parole, with the possibility of parole in 32 years. Big up to the justice system that has delivered. Big up, big up, big up, big up. MDL in the building. MDL seat. I am here. We're going to talk about it, man. So, Maitland gets life with parole eligibility in 32 years. And a lot of Jamaicans are happy about that. Anthony C. Mister, big up yourself, same way. Motivator, big up yourself. Whoever else is there, let me know so I can greet you because we're going to talk about this tonight. Yeah? So make sure you hit the like button as we have this conversation tonight. So a lot of Jamaicans are happy. They are happy that, Maitland has been given the brunt of the law, and we're talking about life imprisonment with absolutely no parole, no possibility of a parole until 32 years. That looks like justice, and a lot of Jamaicans feel good. If you're here right now and you're with the Steady, please type justice. PB, how you doing? Big up yourself, same way. Make sure you hit the like button. We're going to take our time to go through this. Now, even though I'm here, Marcia Fortis, big up yourself, I'm just talking because I know I scheduled this one late. So I'm talking about that part of it, and I decided to repeat the Noel Maitland aspect of things. You understand me? Anthony C. Mister is saying justice. But now that Maitland has been sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole until after 32 years, Jamaica still has a problem. Yes, sir, Jamaica has a problem. And what is that problem? Well, it wasn't long ago that somebody who did something similar to Noel Maitland was found guilty. And we know who we are talking about already. We are talking about Silvera. A lot of people are saying that Silvera should have gotten the same. So let me say at this very juncture, I am in agreement. Silvera should have gotten the same. So the question is, why Noel get life with, no possibility of parole until after 32 years? And then the question is, why Silvera got 21 years effectively, right? And he could be out in 13. So remember, it's the possibility of parole. It's not the guarantee of parole. It's the possibility of parole. Nevertheless, we are looking at the first number, which is the sentence itself. Why is it that Jolyan got 40 years, 10 months concurrent, which is going to boil down to 21 years, effectively, right? And why they decided that Noel Silvera should pay the higher sentence. So I have to ask a question because I saw somebody put it in the chat. You understand me? That apparently Silvera was able to buy out his case, but Noel Maitland was not able to do it. So I decided, big up yourself in a Prudence Gaudi, big up to everybody. I decided to come up with the topic, poor justice versus rich justice. Why the vast difference in their sentences? So somebody suggested today that it could have been a matter of Silvera was able to buy out his case and Noel wasn't able to do it. That's why he got the lighter sentence. So I'm going to do a little survey right now. The people who are watching right now, you tell me, you don't believe Silvera buy out him case, why he get the lighter sentence? If you believe that's the case, type yes, right? Do you believe that it's because Silvera was able to buy out his case? I want to hear what the people are saying, because I am talking about what people are saying, right? Anthony C. Mister says no. Goldie says we must realize that justice in Jamaica is one for the rich and one for the poor. Very sad. We know that that has been an issue for a very long time. But I want some folks to answer to the specific question that I just asked. Do you believe that Silvera got the lighter sentence because Silvera was able to pay his way? If you believe that, please type yes right now. Make me know. If you really think so, we're not going to beat you up if that you think. Right? All right, so a lot of people are not going for that. Because only one person type yes. Prudence Goldie say yes. Josetta say yes. Steve say yes. Who else say yes that I believe is a buyout thing? Right? Well, I don't think we need much more. I don't think we need a lot more answers. Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching the show. Right? Somebody say yes. I don't trust that new DPP. Look at that. You understand me? Carvel Wallace says yes. James Long says yes. I'm not recognizing a lot of the people who are watching the show tonight. So you understand me? That's another thing. I wish I saw some more folks from the steady show that I'm used to seeing so I could gauge what public opinion is saying. But nevertheless, we have people out here and they are saying yes. So, on the same line of thinking, do you believe that Noel Maitland got the hefty sentence that he got because he was not able to buy his way? Do you believe that Noel Maitland has gotten the brunt of the law because Maitland was not able to pay his way? If you believe that it's because Maitland could not pay his way while he's dealing with the brunt of the law, type yes if that's what you believe. If you believe, type yes. And don't hold me up because we need to go into some more conversations. Right? Somebody say, I believe they were trying to protect a few people. So you're saying, MDL, that it is not a matter of yes, that it was a buyout situation. It was a matter that they were trying to protect people. All right, so Steve says yes. James says yes. Another Steve says yes. They believe that Noel could not pay his way, and so that's why he had to pay the highest penalty. Very interesting. So Anthony C. Mister says Maitland was not politically connected. Okay, very, very interesting. So that suggests that because Silvera is politically or was politically connected, that's the reason why. So somebody said is that Maitland didn't have any links either. All right, very interesting. So let's hear what's going on. I think some people did leave some comments on my post tab. I want to bring that on the table as well, right? And then we will go into looking at both cases to see if our answers are correct, or is it that we may have been missing something. So some people said that's the same verdict that should have been handed down to Silvera, then that would be justice. I like that statement, right? Somebody said if Silvera offered a guilty and chose to go to trial, he would have suffered similar fate like Maitland. You guys seem to don't understand how the justice system works. If Silvera never offered a guilty plea and chose to go to trial, he would have suffered similar fate like Maitland. You guys seem to don't understand how the justice system works. All right, so very interesting response right there to that statement. We will be talking about stuff like that too, right? Somebody say, why should never give Jolyan Silvera life? Why Silvera didn't get life sentence? He committed murder too, right? Somebody even came from me. I want to read that one as well. So my response was, well, I don't want to give him a response yet, so let me skip that one out for now, right? Somebody say, well, things change. One by one, they're all going to jail. Now, interesting answer. So a lot of people are already on the side of, some kind of bias was in this case. If it wasn't bias, it was buyout, right? And I think it's very important that we address that. So let us listen to the cases on nationwide. And some of you would have heard it already, but this is where I am with it. They're very different cases, and I've said this. If you watch the previous videos, right, I've said it's a difference in a case when somebody plead guilty to manslaughter right before, which is their right under the law to plea, right? And there's a difference between somebody who commits the crime, but they show no remorse for it. They are in denial and they lie about it, right? So just understand that those things could influence how the situations they play out. But let us get some more information from the source, because it's one thing for everybody here the same news. It's another thing how we analyze what has been said. And that's where the steady show comes in. You understand me? Because we analyze information very well over here. Right? So let us look. Judge outlines reasons behind Maitland's life sentence. So since the sentence is what we're talking about, we can start with that news. Right? Let's hear what the judge has to say about why Maitland got what he got. So we already make a pronouncement on the Silvera case already. Everybody understood where it was, and I did end up, even though the majority didn't see it the way I saw it, things did turn out, you understand me, in line with what I had to say and a few more had to say, right? So let's go ahead and hear what they have to say about this.
In his sentencing remarks, Justice Leighton Pusey said while the case was tragic, there were some things to celebrate. He pointed to the persistence of Donnelly Donaldson's relatives and friends who raised their voices and did not relent in their calls for justice. He also noted that the police did not ignore serious allegations against one of their own and highlighted the cooperation between investigators and the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, along with the importance of forensic evidence in the case. Justice Pusey said the court is guided by the classical principles of sentencing: retribution, deterrence, prevention, and rehabilitation, though he noted that rehabilitation in cases of murder is often subjective. The judge said life imprisonment was the appropriate sentence, particularly given the circumstances of the case. He said, "We don't know whether the killing was premeditated or otherwise," adding that the concealment and disposal of the body made the matter particularly serious. He further noted that the absence of Donaldson's body aggravated the case, as it denied her family the opportunity to bury their loved one.
All right, so somebody please type that into the chat for me. So the concealment of the body, you understand me? That was one of the things. Somebody please type it in, one of the moderators. We need to make notes as we go along. So the judge said concealment of the body, that was an issue. one of the things that went well is that Donnelly's family, they were very persistent. You understand me? There was another point that was made, but if you heard it, just type in the stuff. Let's put the notes in the chat so we can read them and talk about it. So the concealment of the body, we have that one, right? Let's continue. Let's go.
Justice Pusey said the acceptable range for parole eligibility in similar cases was between 20 and 35 years and established a starting point of 26 years. But several aggravating factors led the court to increase that figure. Among them was the fact that Maitland was a police officer, with the judge noting that when those entrusted to serve and protect act in the opposite direction, it must be treated very seriously. The judge also pointed.
All right, don't miss that one. Maitland was a police officer who was entrusted to protect and serve. And so when somebody of Maitland's stature or former stature does something like that, the court looks at that in a very serious manner. So somebody can just, do a shorthand of that. We're coming back to it, We're making notes. We're not airheads on this channel, right? So we're listening to what the court's saying right now. Somebody please write down that point for me.
Pointed to the high prevalence of murder in Jamaican society, saying the courts must signal that such crimes will not be tolerated. He further cited intimate partner violence, referencing Maitland's own admission that he was aware of the tension between Donaldson and the mother of his child, but chose to ignore it. Justice Pusey also identified Maitland's lack of remorse, the concealment of evidence, including.
So make sure we have lack of remorse, right? Make sure we put that down right there, so.
Donaldson's body and a settee linked to the investigation and the trauma caused.
So the concealment of the body, and let us remember the settee, right? There was the concealment of the settee as well. Make sure that we put those things down. We're coming back to them, Right now, I'm seeing 82 visible. I'm only seeing 23 likes. Whether new or not, I'm going to ask you right now, just go ahead and double tap your screen just like this. Bam, bam, 2 times if you're using a mobile phone. And that will increase the likes. And when you increase the likes, the video will go out to more individuals. I'm seeing we're at 27. Let us continue to do it. The next thing you can do is you can look at the top right-hand corner of your screen. You'll see 3 dots. Hit the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of your phone screen. And when you do that, you will see the option to hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and do that. We're at 33 right now. We're doing much better. When we can't get the likes up on the shows, it's much difficult to increase the views on the show. YouTube doesn't send it out. It means we're wasting time. Again, whether you're new or not to the show, we're saying we are not judges, right? We don't work in the judiciary. We don't make the laws like the people that are in the parliament. But when we come out here and we have discussions, don't just come looking for an opportunity to agree or to disagree, right? It can also be an opportunity to learn, right? So don't just look at it. Don't just say you're going to like it. You're not going to like the show because you don't agree with what Steady has said. If you watch the Steady show, just understand this, man. Last night we agreed on a lot of things because that topic was a topic that was easy for us to agree on. This tonight, we expect to disagree on a lot of things, right? But still hit the like button. Let's get me to 60 likes right now so that, you understand me, we can feel good. All right, let's go. We understand that now.
To the family by the absence of the body as additional aggravating factors. Justice Pusey ruled that Maitland must serve 32 years and 4 months before becoming eligible for parole. For the charge of preventing the lawful burial of a corpse, Maitland was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, which the court noted has already been served. That sentence will run concurrently with the life sentence. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
All right, so big up to the judge and big up to the DPP. if I want thing in the DPP defense again, though people never agree with the last case, people seem to love how the DPP do with this case. So I would use that logic to rule out that any money was involved. However, we still have to ask people what they think. All right, let's hear now. So let's hear some of the reasons that the judge that they gave. Before we went to that part, Marcia Monroe said Silvera only strategically pleaded guilty. Yes, and that was a part of why he did not get charged for regular manslaughter either, right? But let's not get to the Silvera part yet. Let's focus on Noel Maitland and the things, because there are a lot of elements in the Maitland case that's very different from the elements in Silvera's case. But as Jamaicans, we like to conflate things. We like to think that everything equal. You understand me? So 10 are we in the room, 2 are we, or 3 are we, I wear one black shirt, then everybody in the room I wear a black shirt. That's how we like. We like to generalize things, right? We don't like to spend time searching for the facts at all. We don't like to do it. And so I chose to come and talk about this for the people who care to learn that, you understand me? Sometimes you're comparing apples, and that's a one conversation. But when you're comparing apples and oranges, it's a very different conversation, right? So as we say, this is not political entertainment. This is political edutainment, right? All right, let's go. So the concealment of the body, Melissa's body was not concealed at all. There could have, and there was a burial. I watched the funeral. You understand me? Donnelly's family persistent. Mr. C, Mr. saying, Electra, there's overwhelming evidence that proves that Silvera committed murder. But he chose to plead guilty to manslaughter rather than go to trial. In Maitland's case, they didn't find the body to examine. Very good comment. You understand me? Somebody said, Maitland was a police officer. They had higher expectations for a police officer, right? Aggravating factors. All right. Police officer is his police record. All right. Somebody said the difference was also the judge, Silvera Lego Sykes. Okay. Reasonable argument. Reasonable argument. Right? Blanket argument to an extent, but still reasonable argument. Somebody said to examine the cause of death, but there were other evidence that suggests he committed the act. So somebody said Maitland's lack of remorse, that had a bearing. Concealment of the settee, right? I believe there were also witnesses in Maitland's cases, in Maitland's case, right? How come Silvera kids never heard the shot? Okay. So we're not leaning to Silvera today. Somebody said Maitland thought that since there was nobody, he would not have been found guilty. It backfired. I like that one. I believe that's what Cartel thought too. Right? So Maitland was playing it different. So again, this is a big reflection of, I believe this came down to the lawyers that they both had, you know. You understand me? Maitland wanted to deny everything in the face of evidence. So clearly the favorite song is It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. You understand me? As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't him. But then he was answerable to so many other things, right? And that's typical of a lot of people, you know. That some people, when they do wrong, they believe that they will admit to the wrong they did and they will deal with the consequences and they will ask, you understand me, for you to have mercy on them, which in a sense is what Silvera did. But when you look at how Silvera went about his one day before trial, because the ballistics evidence came in and it now shows that not only the shots came from Silvera's gun, but that Silvera did additional things. A lot of things that a lot of Jamaicans don't understand either is that when the guilty plea to manslaughter is tendered, And we talk about all of this the other day, but these are for people who knew. You understand me? It alters how the court proceeds, or else missteps could end up in a trial. So we're going to say this again. Remember the cartel case? Cartel got the 35 years up front, but he ended up serving 13 because they could prove a mistrial. And for those who watch the news, you know that Maitland's lawyer is already saying that they are going to appeal the case because they believe that there's grounds for mistrial in the situation. Then me hear some people that say, Lord, are you going to traumatize the people them? Again, just understand that when the perpetrator commits the crime, they're thinking about getting away. They're not thinking about the victim or their family. If they cared that much about the victim or the family, we wouldn't have a victim in the first place. Right? So court situations are hard situations to deal with. So there's a lot of things right there. So he prevented the burial of the corpse. The family don't know where the body is. And that is like a double killing when you really think about it. Right? And him still a whole ground that I know him do it. All right? So they're looking at the aggravating factor where that was concerned. Somebody said these cases are not the same. Silvera pleaded guilty. He got less time for that. Thank you very much, Katabi. We've been on the same page, right? So, again, we don't just put things out there because everybody feel that this is how it's supposed to go. They're very different situations. Very, very different situations, right? If Maitland had pleaded guilty, and if the body existed or could be located in every way, right? If any of that happened and he decided to cooperate, then they probably would have looked at everything and tried to give him the minimum, such as his lawyer was suggesting. But no, the man did such a crime, and him alone know where the body is or what was done with the body. The coach that went to the place with the blood, and everybody can testify, the man who him call, who did bring the coach, and he was calling, all of those things were incriminating. All of those things that only showed intention to kill, but intention to conceal. The difference in a Silvera's case is that Silvera say, yes, I did it, but this is the circumstance that was happening. And the law makes provisions for a man to be able to say he was provoked. Silvera used a provision that was made in the law. So you think about this now. PNP was running Jamaica and attacks people left, right, and center everywhere. Business are locked down everywhere and mash up, right? But just use an example. Hopefully people can get the logic, right? Nah, so PNP would have rather hike up the tax, the business closed down, people lose them business, their house and everything through FinSac, because them now budge where the tax is concerned. The JLP come in now and say, all right, all who hold taxes gonna come to the front of the line. You understand me? We are going to write off an amount of the taxes, and we're going to make it easier for you to come in and pay the taxes. So what start happening? People who have tax back up on them for how many years, they come in and they decide now to pay the minimum that the JLP give them. How did Jamaica benefit? Raking a whole lot of tax dollars. And the tax dollars they could rake in now from being lenient and reasonable is a part of why Jamaica was able to dig itself out of the hole that PNP put the country in. It's the same, the logic is similar. If you don't believe it's similar, you can tell me. So it's a matter of we give them an opportunity to say, hey, so already there's a lot of backlog in the court system. And the reduction in how many years people get. It was a part of it. Remember in Silvera's case, there was no witnesses. In Maitland's case, there were witnesses. Come on, folks. If you're seeing this as the same thing, then maybe your head just too tough. Right? And I'm not mean to insult nobody, but sometimes that is just the scenario. The next thing we want to talk about again, provable evidence. Nobody never say Silvera never murdered his wife. We've said that over and over. The point is not whether he murdered her, right? That's why the same DPP was able to say, yes, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter, but it was a tactical move on his part. That's why he got so much. The next thing again, this is a regular thing in Jamaica, where people dirt people and they get even less years. 12 years, 16 years. It's a regular thing. It's been going on for a long time. So this people being caught up into Melissa Silvera's, people must have feelings, but I feel also use logic and reasoning. It's two very different cases. All right, let me hear what the people are saying, because I know people must disagree with me right now. Somebody said it was a very aggravating factor because he sought no medical treatment and left her to die. So that was Melissa's, right? So remember, guilty to manslaughter does not mean he did not commit homicide, Just remember, say, the purpose, the reason the court is there is to proceed to trial with a conviction. They were going to trial until the man strategically and tactically decided to plead guilty to manslaughter. Then with a good lawyer on his hands, right, he went the route. I bet Maitland, I think right now, say, if he didn't know, you understand me, he would have gone the route that Silvera had gone. I don't know if it would have ended up in his favor, though, because there is nobody. Nobody's there. You want to bring in Cartel's case? They had Cartel's phone, didn't they? Cartel talked about the mincemeat situation. They had witnesses that were there. Weren't there? His phone was used while he was locked up in custody, right? And that alone is tampering with evidence, so they can bring the claim to say there is a mistrial because the very thing that they're using. You can't just take everything and put it in a one basket and decide that since this did happen, this is not how cases are tried. Each case is tried on its merit. So it depends on what you're going for. All right, how many have people in your life? Somebody do you wrong and them pick up the phone and then come to you face to face and say, listen to me. Me know me do you wrong. Me know me say me say. Me know me do what me do. And me can't ask you to forgive me. But the least we can do is come to you like a big man or a big woman and say, I did it. I was wrong to do what I did. Even though you still feel bad about it, It's very different than somebody who do you wrong and say, me never do you nothing. Me don't know. Them say it, I don't me say it. Gaslighting, they call it. Right? It's a psychological thing. People can mad you by doing this kind of stuff. You understand what I said to you? People, it wasn't me situation. So when there is remorse, so when the court look on Maitland now and say, okay, you take her life, you are tell a lie, you can't argue your way out, even with a great lawyer. You're not sorry about it. You deny down to the end. We can't find the body. We can't find the settee. You did everything to conceal the case, and with all the evidence that was stacked against you, you never care about Donna Lee's family enough, her friends enough, the country at large enough. You never business about none of that. All you want to do is get off of the case. Right? So when you allow the state to go through that, to do the hard work of proving the case against you, and they put it to the judge, right? Then that judge, and every judge is going to look at things differently, right? So maybe if we had this judge in the other case, but my only argument is this: I don't believe no payoff did go on. I don't know. I don't know if I could provide evidence to say I believe it was a rich versus poor, because we know Silvera and Sykes them lean towards the orange side of things. But separate and apart from that, there are two very different situations, folks. All right, let's go into the chat here, what the people have to say. Maitland alone did not commit the crime. His other girlfriend, who is the mother of his child, I understand, has fled the island. I think he is protecting her. So we don't know about that, right? Circumstantial evidence is more powerful than eyewitness. Okay. The defense attorneys both lost. They know the laws of the land. Justice was served in both instances. In my belief, I believe so too. My thing with Jamaican people is this, you know. Under PNP, how much people that get dirt? A lot of cases in the court, corrupt judges. I don't like corrupt judges, corrupt laws. One law for the rich, one law for the poor. I don't like I say, never did I see this, right? But really confuse me. When you see a DPP, we get people like a black man, Klansman. We know that they Tesha Miller, you understand me? Got Maitland, got Silvera. You understand me? A lot of people didn't even know that Silvera would have ended up with such a sentence. People must know when I play a winning hand for a winning, I play a losing hand. And stop getting caught up into narratives. Stop get up in that feelings, right? Because truth be told, should have damn well care about a lot more victims in Jamaica than Melissa Silvera. You understand me? A lot of out there, just follow people who are use Melissa Silvera case for political mileage, but they're not looking at the bigger picture. A lot of people won't have to say about the picnic we killed the other picnic at the school the other day, right? Won't have to say about Simone Colley Campbell case, young businesswoman who did in Jamaica, right? And take up this boy, must be from Barbados. The boy had a dirty wife of foreign already, and then do the same thing and then dirt her again. Won't have to say about that. Won't have to say about Nadreka. You understand me? Won't have to say about a lot of these other victims. Some of Jamaicans, too hypocritical and love get caught up in things too much without using brain. And who want log off, who want come off of the life, I said it because it's true. And this is not to shame people for having belief, but I'm saying a lot of the things that we are putting out there, it don't make no sense logically, right? Because when you look at some are we quick to believe the worst about certain people too much, right? Look how much I want to go get caught up in all the lies that Mark Golden and PNP did that tell upon Dr. Andrew Holness simply because them out there tell the lies. Come on now, we need to do better than that, man. Sometimes we need to do the hard work of getting information, and a lot of not digging at the case them. All you not do is follow people who are put their feelings and their emotions in it. Not listening to the people who are do the study, who are compare things, who have more experience looking at certain things. Sometimes we must stop walking around looking for another reason to feel right or to prove that we are right. If you want to learn, don't just go seek information to confirm what you already know. Sometimes just listen and understand. Because guess what? If any of your family member them right now get caught in a Jolyan Silvera case, especially some of them mother them, the criminal mama them, no, I know me going to talk what I feel. The criminal mother them who been hiding their murderer sons, and the woman them who are hiding their murderer boyfriend them over the years, still seek justice for them, don't it? Right. So people are going to defend themselves. They're going to get the best lawyer and they're going to present the best case for them backside get away with it. That is just the law. And the law has to see it. So I will submit just with this case to say that, listen, if it come down to it, I would rather Jolyan plea, Silvera plea manslaughter and get 20-something years, you understand me, than they decide to proceed with the manslaughter thing, right? The murder trial thing, and then there is a possibility that it could be appealed, right? God forbid, we would not want to see, as me, I'm going to play him shortly, right? We would not want to see Maitland's lawyer bring this thing to go and appeal the case, and then Maitland get off, right? And guess what? You don't take no responsibility. Somehow, you would have the gall to say, well, at least it, well, at least then they'd sentence him up front. You understand me? It doesn't really work like that sometimes, right? Anyway, let's hear what the people are saying, because I know there must be disagreements, and I'm far away from the chat, right? People are saying that maybe Donna Lee was cremated. Oh, they found a way to do it. Somebody said her father got a heart attack and died. Is that Donna Lee? Steady can't believe you are agreeing with Kata. Then Kata is one of the smartest person on my show, Chinbella, and we're not always going to agree on everything. What I want is not who I'm agreeing with or disagreeing with. What I want are arguments to prove. So maybe if you put an argument there, Chinbella, please bring my attention to it, right? And one thing with Steady, I am not going to pick the side that the popular. I'm not going to pick the side because it's the popular side to pick. I'm not work like that, right? Me decide for grow this show ya at a much slower pace because this show is not about the popular view. This show is about what makes sense, right? All right, let's go. So I'm seeing 142 right now in the chat. I'm only seeing 73 likes. Whether I agree or I disagree, go ahead, man. I need 26 more likes. Bring it to 100, right? Bring it to 100. I see some people doing it. Let's get some more. Double tap your screen, man, and get me to 100 likes, man. You understand me? If you can't agree on this show, I'm going to put up whole heap of other show where you don't agree with. So, I know every show you going to like. I know that, but I still can't talk to you. You understand me? I know every show you going to like. All right, some people are working with me, right? Let's hear what the people are saying. Disgusting set of animals. Chinbella, why do you say that? Anthony C. Mister, you mean a tax amnesty? Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Anthony C. Mister. No, the two cases are different. C. Mister said, can't stay over here. Awful crime Silvera committed. You understand me? And tried to cover it up. All right. He never tried to cover it up, Chinbella. He actually covered it up. And just like Sykes said in his case, that the first person on the crime scene failed to do their job, they needed to secure the crime scene. Una act like the DPP have one camera to Silvera's house, saw everything that was going on, and decided to deny the evidence. No, what we're saying is that the adult witnesses were there and the crime scene was compromised. In this case, we're talking about DNA was involved in securing this. So all the things that could not have been denied, from DNA to eyewitness to the coach to the hiding of the body to whatever they presented to the court that was contradicted by people who were involved in the case, whether directly or indirectly. It's a matter of how they went about trying to do this thing, folks, right? And the reason why I take on the tough conversation them is that a lot of us has been going around in circles. A lot of us, some of us can't even see, especially if you're not labor rights. Can you see what is happening in the justice system? simply because the JLP is in power. Some of them don't even see that on too caught up in a media hype. Can you see that people are feeling the long arm of the law? This never used to happen on the PNP. Give me 17 more likes. Somebody say, hi, steady, always interesting. Thank you very much, family. I'm like how you say interesting. Whether you agree or not, it's going to be interesting over here. Because at least we're not going to pick the popular view and run with it. Right? Me don't know about you, but regardless of how I feel about Silvera, everybody did hear when Cartel talked on a voice note and said that they have minced meat that, and the evidence was there. But guess what? Because a lot of people like Cartel, they wanted Cartel free. You can't judge court cases on the basis on the feeling. So even though I do this, you can't say steady bias. No for bias too. Right? No for we bias, so maybe bias are just sitting in the whole of we. You don't hit the like button because you don't know so we bias. Steady bias or uno bias. The whole of we bias. What problem? You don't give me 16 more likes. You understand me? Uno bias too. You understand me? So make we have it out tonight. Somebody say Maitland is toast. Somebody say Maitland is a very wicked man. He must tell what he did with the girl's body. Exactly. Even the mother this evening say yes. We're happy with what has been done. She lift her hand, glory to God. But that woman would have wanted the closure of knowing where her daughter's body was. How you going to compare them the two cases, the man? How you going to compare them the two cases there? And PNP did sensationalize this thing by talking about Melissa Silvera was shot 3 times in her vagina. Well, there is nothing that suggests that. That are just PNP has said that enough labor rights run with it too. On have to be careful of PNP when PNP talk. Because when they want one another, are the same way they wicked to their one another. Just so they can control the narrative. Me need me 16 more likes because I know me I talk good even though I don't want to disagree. Steady, there was a case in 1987, a policeman, Linton Berry, who did the same thing to his partner, Paulette Ziadi. He got caught and was sentenced to 30 years. See it the same way? I think I read that thing the other day. By the way, you probably can watch Jamaica chapter because Jamaica chapter always bring up some interesting cases. And today, unfair things are going on in Jamaica. All right, let's see. He was guilty, but the technicality of the phone tampering made the status a mistrial. Thank you very much, Lord David. So now you talk to me. So what we're saying to people is that, come make a reason again. The other day, we heard about some folks that were playing career jurors. So in other words, every case is like them put on it because if they're career jurors, it means that they are helping to drive the outcome. And that's something that they had to intentionally try to flush out of the court system. So the argument I made the other day is if Silvera went so far as to hide everything, and if that first police, by the way, two story now one, somebody came into my comments the other day and claimed that he's a police. You know what the person say? The first police that went on the scene should be promoted because first of all, this person is not a rookie. And the job that they did was superb because they were the ones who recommended that they do some forensic tests or pathology or whatever, that they do that. So I say, well, and they no police job for do their job. So we're going to promote them. We're going to promote them for not secure the crime scene. And then you go away and you leave the man to go ahead and change up everything in the house. And now the DPP don't have nothing to prove because you did not do what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to give them. But I figure say a PNP logic that, and that's how they this. I hear him say he's a policeman. Well, to you, first of all, that was a rookie job. It may not have been a rookie police, but it was a rookie job. You understand what I said to you? In other words, it was an old police acting like a new police. A new police would have do better than that too, because they know what their training say. Right? So this is how people You can't hide behind your title. Yeah, you may have been a cop, but this is a whole different scenario. You did not do it. Sykes said that. Right? You cannot conflate him. You need 10 more likes because look at me, I talk good. You understand me? Somebody said he was guilty. Well, we read that already. Somebody said true steady. I said so many things. Somebody said true electoral. The cases were judged differently because so many variables were different. Thank you very much. Brilliant statement. Give me 9 more likes. And the reason why I decided to take this on is that thank God me spend 20 much years of my life working in analytics, looking at information, comparing information, using data, analytics, trends. You understand me? Just information, just being able to look at it and to make decisions just based on the information that's available on the table. The DPP and the ability to prove murder is as good as the evidence. When you hear the evidence, and this is something in law, this is not unique to Jamaica. The evidence could only prove manslaughter in a Silvera case. And whether it was murder or manslaughter, the outcome could have been different because of all him talk about what went on. He talk about, wrote a whole long letter and said this. Yes, it was tactical and all that. So we're lucky say Silvera never got less. So I'm not going to put it on the DPP that this is a corruption thing and the DPP was paid. No, this DPP is doing her job. On a run back again and say, so Jamaica just want to win, you know. You ever see some people, Jamaica people don't like lose. You ever see some Jamaica people that domino game it? All when they lose, they can't take the losing. Sore losers. A lot of people not really happy. Say they had it wrong before, but I just saw it go. This is a learning process. Someone want to sit down, I want to say, like how Sykes explained everything and he broke it down to a science. It's the law. When you get in a trouble or you're picked to get in a trouble, the law is there for everybody to use. Right? So we're not saying we agree with what was done with Silvera, but we're saying it was a brilliant move. And at the same DPP, slap it on Noel Maitland. So I don't think no corruption or no money involved in this. I really don't. Somebody said 99% of people would not come clean and be the bigger man, girl, and said, I am sorry. Exactly. So Maitland decided to hold out and let him deal with it. Somebody said, bless you steady. Bless up same way, Angela. Steady. Try a Silvera and see what. No, Chinbella. You are taking this thing too far. Chinbella, I suggest that if this is not the conversation for you, you just go drink something and just go cool off for the rest of the night. This is not the show. You're the reasoning that you are bring to here. So you take this thing a little bit too far. We have to look at what's reasonable. We have to present arguments. We can't shame people for their point of view. You understand me? Or try to be disrespectful or hit below the belt. You know we not tolerate that for the steady show. Somebody said most Jamaicans seem to care about Melissa than Donnelly because of how they've sensationalized the case, Kata B. Right? And then that's Jamaica on a whole. Jamaica care about some cases than others. Right? So them caught up in the Melissa Silvera, caught up in a rich people business. When me look there that day, Melissa Silvera wedding and funeral, me not see the poor people them did there, no. No poor Abe Tapanaris did there, but Jamaicans then just love to find themselves in a company in which they don't belong or to defend people who don't want them to defend them in the first place. You understand me? Somebody says Silvera killed the wife, pleaded guilty to the lesser, get the reward of the guilty plea. Exactly. That's a part of law. If we don't want things like that to happen, change the law. Big up same way in a Diane Eccleston. Over this I show ya, we talk big people conversation. We don't tell you what you are here, we talk sense over here. It either makes sense or it don't make sense. You understand me? Somebody's all who just coming from Dujan, like the show. I need 6 more likes to get to my 100. You understand me? So somebody says, so Maitland should get less time, but Silvera should rot in jail. Make me understand this. Somebody respond to Kata B, because this is the steady show. You have to over here, so you have to be able to bring it. A bright people over here. Right? We attract the brightest and the best. If you're not ready for this, sit down and learn. You understand me? But no come with no fool argument, man. Somebody said, that is just what people were saying. I did not mean it to be a fact about the girlfriend. Okay, cool. Somebody said, facts, my brother. We believe the worst about black, dark-skinned people very easily. We believe light and white folks just as easily. That's how we are. You understand me? Let's hear what the people are saying. Somebody said, talk truth steady, big up wife styles here. We steady. Most folks won't admit this though. I know that. A lot of times we don't want to admit when we're wrong or we're on the wrong side of things. Let me see this though. Between RJR, TVJ, CVM, Gleaner, Star, Observer, I don't know who's telling the truth. And a lot of those... Just understand that those are businesses and they will do what is good for their business. I think we should play another audio, right? We probably can hear what the lawyer say, Townsend say, right? Because a lot of people who are say, Silvera was treated unfairly. I wonder how they would feel. I wonder how they feel about Townsend now wanting to appeal this case. And we're going to hear his grounds. Again, it's the court of law. They make their decisions. We only talk about and analyze it. Make we hear what him have to say. Yeah? Make we hear what him have to say. Let's go for it. So the thing said, folks, let's hear what Townsend has to say. Yep. All right, so Townsend, you know?
In terms of how the judge treated the matter. And
1 second.
Nothing happened that we did not expect in terms of how the judge treated the matter. And so, as I indicated when he was convicted, there's another process. And one mustn't mistake the battle for the war. Right? So he has lost this battle.
Right now the statements.
The war still continues.
The war, as in appeal, still on.
As in appeal,
that's what you're saying.
Still on.
Okay, you're in your submission. Based on the time, what's your reaction to what he submitted for eligibility before parole and what he got?
Well, of course, as his counsel, I must go to the lowest under the circumstances. The prosecution, of course, went to the highest, and so what he did was to fall somewhere in between, although more in favor of the prosecution, which is expected, which is what the judge usually do.
Is it in favor of the prosecution or based on the nature of the cases that were cited in court?
Well, we cited cases too, which took it to the lower level, as you will recall.
Based on the circumstances in those cases.
And those cases were far more egregious than the one at bar. But the judge used other cases, as there are quite a number of cases that could have been used and that were used. And based upon the cases that he used, he fell at the higher level.
Have you had a chance?
So essentially what I must say right there is that usually in a court proceeding, they use precedences. In other words, similar cases that were tried and the things that they looked at. Sykes did explain this to that. The just call it the yardstick that they use. That's something that they even look at what's been not just practiced in Jamaica, but in the region as well. So what he's saying is that the precedents that they use for this particular case, they could have used other precedences then, so to speak, or other references. So he sees that now as a basis to say that they basically went for the jugular. They went for the highest possible that was done. And of course, that is always going to be some kind of basis. So that's what he's arguing in a nutshell right there. So
Speak with Maitland?
Yes, we just spoke to him. He is, well, of course, he's very sorry about where he's at now, but he's looking forward to the appeal.
Oh, do you hear that, folks? Noel Maitland is very sorry about where he is at right now. So, based on how they have gone about approaching this case, total denial of anything, right? Then he still now has to be talking to the media from the standpoint of it's an innocent man that we are dealing with, because Maitland chose to insult everybody, insult the parents. You understand me? Insult everybody in the process. Because for Maitland believed that having gone to the farthest extent to hide what he did, he believed that that would have been sufficient to get him off of the case. Right? So now that he has gone that route, Noel had the opportunity before the verdict was handed down to do like Jolyan Silvera did, at least a day before the trial, or even during the trial, or before the verdict was reached. He had it, but the man decided to hold it to the last end. Want all, lose all, then call it. The face pick the guard chop twice. You understand me? So there is nothing. I don't know if it was Maitland himself or it was the lawyer, right? But of course, the lawyer is here representing. But what the lawyer is doing now is that he's looking at avenues for which him now can say this was possibly a mistrial. Well, we don't know how far this is going to reach.
And as you mentioned about him being sorry, in
3
the
more
report
likes.
again, the lack of remorse was highlighted, and of course, as you had stated, the judge had stated about his right to maintain his innocence.
Yes, he does have that right to maintain.
What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is simply the judge was correct. The prosecution was advancing the fact that he never, what in effect would have been a confession to say, yes, I did it, and I'm sorry that I did it. And the judge stopped them and said, no. He has a right to maintain his innocence, which is what we advanced. And so for them to say that there was no remorse based upon that, that would be confession. That would be wrong. The judge would not be entitled to consider that.
And I'm sure the judge also, knowing what the judge knows, the judge also recognizes that this is a man that is virtually expressionless, and his care does not go in any way, shape, or form towards Donna Lee. So him no miss her in a ball. At least Jolyan Silvera did their funeral a ball. I would see Jolyan Silvera with the little baby there and the thing. But anybody who can read body language, which they say is a very sophisticated form of language, right? Anybody could have seen, if you watch the funeral with Melissa Silvera, you could see how tense the people were. The people them not even did a moan, right? So those were visible signs. Those were visible signs of Silvera at least feeling ashamed about what had happened. You understand me? Big up to Jamaica 87 at the building, same way. Big up everybody. Yeah? And we are at the 100 likes. When we say 100 likes, we feel good enough. That means to say, I know everything when we say a foolishness. When we have 100 likes, it means to say, that don't mean to say enough to take off with the likes now, right? But what we're saying is that they're looking at that too, they're looking at a man, the guilt, if anybody go watch Melissa Silvera's funeral, we were watching it the other day, and I was amazed. You understand me? He did everything, the blank expression, there was no genuine remorse. That's why the DPP was able to say it was tactical. So they're looking at this. So when you have your lawyer, you're not
entitled to consider that. What we advanced was that.
I was just saying, when you have your lawyer and you see how the case is stacked against you in every way, you have to decide at what point it makes sense for you to say, all right, this no look like it go in my favor, No, he held it out. He paid the price. Make way what the lawyer say.
In the report, he did say that the circumstances as it presented themselves, has presented difficulties for not only his family, right, but the family of Donnelly, right? And those circumstances were uncomfortable for him at the very least.
Okay.
From that perspective, there would have been remorse.
Did he indicate anything since the disappearance, since the conviction up to today, about how he feel or felt about her disappearance and where we are today?
Yes, he has from time to time, well, one, as it relates to the conviction, he has maintained his innocence, and he has maintained that he has absolutely nothing to do with her disappearance. That has not changed.
So did he offer any clues as to what he believed may have happened? Anything credible?
Separate and apart from expressing that, did he indicate to you since he was convicted about how he felt that her body is still missing?
I don't think that would have changed, because if you recall, we're saying that we had nothing to do with it.
So from the boyfriend standpoint, did he express?
Sir, her body missing, he has nothing to do with it, but it is his girlfriend. So where is the concern that, I know too long ago you did see your girlfriend and now you can't see. You see, folks, when you do wrong things and you're trying to get away with it, you understand me? If you can find a lawyer that can give you a good story, but just remember this. If you don't have a case and the prosecution comes at you very hard and you're not able to, you understand me, satisfactorily prove your innocence, your backside going into trouble, right? Had somebody not dragged me into court as an innocent man some time ago and put lie upon me, and the only thing I had on my side was the truth. And for the first time I speak the truth in a court, the whole place rattled up. And it was steady on the lawyer for a whole year. And I won the lawyer. Because me never know lawyer, but I've done sales and persuasion. So I'm looking at the judge eye and talk to the judge. And every time it was a mash down courtroom, turning a comedy club, because judge a laugh, everybody a laugh. You understand me? Because I was able to flip the case. But you me not go right, and you get me off of being right. After that, somebody say, get to a lawyer. We say, we can't afford the lawyer, plus me not pay for the lawyer. Because me know my truth right here, so. You understand me? So I know, say, when you reach in a court, it'll come down to the arguments that you have and the fact that the other side can't prove their innocence or whatever. You understand me? It's going to work against them. So Noel had nothing substantial in his defense. And he catch him. You understand me? And that go on. Somebody say, talk up the things, said it good night, said it good evening. I'm sure I am very far. Let me try and catch up with the chat. I probably have gonna miss out some. We're at the place now where we're getting ready to close the show. You understand me? Somebody says, Stark Street. I agree with your statement wholeheartedly. The kids were there. You understand me? The next thing we talk about again is that they're going to take into consideration the children. And the mother gone already. This is a Tapanari's affair. Go watch a funeral and you will realize that this is a Tapanari's affair. Poor people can't judge this here. You understand me? This is a Tapanari's business. You understand me? They're going to find a way to figure out how to work it out together. So the sentencing is also going to take those things into consideration. Because we generally, we don't really feel people paying like that sometimes. We just want to be right. We're not going to get it. Somebody said, this sentencing for Maitland is a message to the criminals. This is a new Jamaica. We are no longer the criminal paradise. Thank you very much, wife style. That's what I'm saying. So my mindset in this case, is that, hey, we see what happened to Maitland, and we don't know what other case going to come up, right? But this DPP has done a lot for Jamaica. When Dr. Andrew Holness did the math and him say, the whole heap of crime in Jamaica, it's stemming from the whole gang thing. I want you to take off the two biggest gang leader off of the road. And gang leader a drop left, right, center, they done them are dead out, bad boy, them are dead out, crime rate reduced. Yet under PNP, we couldn't see that. So I want to attribute this kind of success to, you understand me, the JLP government. Because everybody know how PNP did a fight so that one of them could have been the DPP. And then you know what injustice feels like. So make we count we blessing them in that situation here. So I believe that the DPP is doing a good job. That's my belief. Right? So Carly says she get half of the first case, right? She get half of the second. Nobody, don't forget Dr. Kevin Blake, too, the one, the old man from PNP days, where him named Cameron, when Dr. Blake put him out of the position, him said Blake can't fire him. This DPP looked at it and said, no, 12 counts of fraud, I believe they hit him with. It's a working DPP. Don't be afraid. Don't be so quick to throw away. Just like someone right now, when get up and blame Andrew Holness every day for everything that's going wrong in Jamaica. But you so quickly forget when everything was going wrong in Jamaica, right? So things take time. We're not saying that we believe that the law should be more stringent. You understand me? We believe a lot of things can be done, but I believe that this is progress. Everything cannot just be about great success. You understand me? If we can't deal with the Reggae Boys being such a losing team, the DPP success rate is better than the Reggae Boys. But come on, put some respect for the DPP name. Two different things. I'm just giving trouble because we're getting ready to close. Somebody say, so we are at the 100. Somebody say exactly steady. Reason with factual facts rather than emotions. Without, you understand me? If you don't have evidence, and again, folks, everything means provable evidence. And I say we not, and I say we don't know if Silvera do it, but what evidence did he remove that we would need to prove in the court of law? The other day I quoted the case with Casey Anthony, young lady with dirt her baby and leave her in her trunk for about 10 days or so. I watched this case about 16 years ago, and with a good lawyer, she was able to get off the case. So things don't always go the way we want them to go, but I do believe that we are in a good place. You know, not have to agree with me, I mean not have to agree with them on this one, but it's just how I see it. Somebody said a cop did his job 100% right in this case, or you talk about in the first case. I know that I am behind, right? So let's see if we can catch up with each other. Steady, I just love your boldness, straightforward. Thank you, family. That's me, man. I taught the truth. Everybody now go agree with it, but my brand is to talk what I believe to be true. It doesn't mean I'm right, but me speak the truth that as I see it, right? All right, let's see if we can catch up with the chat so we can get ready to close the show. The truth is never clothed. All right. Somebody says Sykes should resign. Truth is naked. That is it. Philip Palwell case looks interesting. Well, let's see what's going to happen in the Palwell case, no? Because one of the things we need to pay attention to is how they wanted to get. You remember, all Palwell want Paula Llewellyn to go. But we have a strong DPP right now. Let us see what is going to happen. Let us see who gets called into play. But I want to say big up to the JLP government, you know, because we are today. This is somebody say on social media. It look like what's he say? They judge them not play. But it is the lawmakers that have given the judges a freer hand to hand down serious sentences on these people. I think Donnelly's mother is somewhere in the equation. Let me see if I can find her. Let's hear what Donnelly's mom has to say, because that also is a factor. I wonder if I can find this. Was it before? Why may I look on my page? Steady warm to you, man. Hold on there. Let's hear what Donnelly's mom has to say. So if you haven't subscribed to the show yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the show. You understand me? Hit the like if you haven't yet done so. Was it nationwide Donnelly's mom was on, or was it so that a town saying, all right, it's Donnelly mother, yeah, now I could go to Donnelly mother. Let's hear Donnelly's mom. All right. Yeah, praise God.
Showers of blessings, eh? God is good.
Put some shower in the chat. Showers of blessings.
God is good. Thank you, Lord. Breathing in my soul, deep down in my spirit. A bit of, I don't even know the words to put it, but I was expecting, I think I put too much in expecting that he would just confess to me today what happened to my daughter. Because this is just a chapter of my life that has been closed today. Yes. Give him 100 years. That still wouldn't bring back Donna. We are comfortable with whatever they give him today, thanks to Judge Pusey, thanks to the DPP, Miss Claudette Thompson, I think, yes, and to the whole justice system and Jamaica and those that support me, thanks very, very, very much. Showers of blessings, eh? God is good. God is good. Thank you, Lord. Breathing in my soul, deep down in my spirit. A bit of, I don't even know the words to put it, but I was expecting, I think I put too much in expecting that he would just confess to me today what happened to my daughter. Because this is just a chapter of my life that has been closed today. Yes. Give him 100 years. That still wouldn't bring back Donna. We are comfortable with whatever they give him today, thanks to Judge Pusey, thanks to the DPP, Miss Claudette Thompson, I think, yes, and to the whole justice system and Jamaica and those that support me, thanks very, very, very much.
So from the boyfriend.
Boy, big up to Donna Lee. Mother, boy, only a mother knows, right? Only a mother knows in a them situation, you seen? I hear what the mother say. No matter how much year they give to Maitland, it's still not going to bring back Donna Lee. That's one key statement to pay attention to. And of course, the mere fact that you can't bury the body. So it's not one and the same. Now, from Silvera's standpoint, was he wicked? Did he really do evil? Did he do wrong? Yeah, the two of them, very serious crime, very serious circumstances, very different situation happening in the cases. And I believe that in both cases, you understand me, the DPP exercised good judgment and justice was served. That's my belief. Somebody say, LOL, Sykes is not my favorite person, but you are going overboard. So the people who are going overboard, we understand that we're not really trying to save them. We just work with them. Jamaica 87, that is exactly my point. I've been saying it all on platforms that I've seen this evening. Okay, that one gone left me. Somebody say, hold on there. Lloyd Davis, I'm guessing because you do not like Sykes, you refuse to watch the breakdown of his judgment. I did not particularly like him based on his judgments, but he was clear, and a lot of people said that. So the fact that Jamaicans couldn't rationally and reasonably, and they actually did not riot when Sykes was done, it tells you that they actually understand. The mark of somebody who let me not say anything, but at some point we have to decide to part ways with one way of thinking and open our minds. You understand me? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? Jamaica 87, it's simple. Maitland thought he could get away because the body couldn't be found, but there was other evidence which proves he committed. Like, all right. So we're not going to work with Lloyd tonight because Lloyd, it looked like you're ready. Somebody say, you have been talking about the behavior of the PMP members playing the devil's advocate. All right, let's move on. Thanks for 100 likes. We got that. Let's just run through. Noel Maitland is on trial for murder in the death of Donnelly Donaldson. He pleaded not guilty, so the case went to a full jury trial. If convicted of murder, the judge must follow. That is it. Sentencing guidelines, usually life imprisonment with many. And by the way, Jamaica 87 is law enforcement, so it knows a lot of things, right? In Silvera case, one of the accused pleaded guilty instead of going through. All of those things, they do make a difference. So I see those points. Lots of comments tonight. Maitland phone screwed him. Hope folks are reading and understanding what you're saying, Jamaica 87. People are upset because one person admitted guilt and got sentenced in discount, while the other case is being fully tried for murder, which normally carries a much heavier penalty. Of course. Silvera say, all right, make we relieve the headache of the court and get it over with, because this is not going to work in my favor. You understand me? Somebody say, how come we just find this interesting channel? Well, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Over here, we do the hard work of researching and getting the facts and reasoning out the thing and just looking, using reasoning. Over here, we don't strive to agree with everybody every night. We are not a majority consensus channel. We reward the people who do the thinking for us that we can learn from them. You understand me? So this is how we are over here. We don't just run with the popularity point of views. We're not a populist channel. We make people learn over Yasso, right? We are not friends. There are three. Let me see something. All right, so we're toward the end right now. So let me see this one now. All right. Lloyd Moore, you big up yourself same way. You understand me? Somebody say it's really, really sad. A lot of things that happen. But family, the conclusion is poor justice versus rich justice. I don't think we can ever settle that argument, because from what we see, it looks like we have a poor man and a rich man in the situation. Do I believe money plays a role in this case? I don't believe it. Do I believe corruption played a role in this case? I don't believe that. Would I have wanted more for Silvera? Absolutely, but I got the reason of Sykes. Do I totally agree with the sentencing for Noel Maitland? Absolutely. Because, as you can see, while Jamaica at large feel that the DPP did the right thing in Maitland's case, for the lady that pushed out Donnelly, she said that wouldn't have helped. And the one thing she would have wanted was the closure to say that he did it, or even to say where the body was. Me sure said this a boy where used to go to the woman yard, go sit down and food, talk to on the phone, was a son-in-law, but now you realize the boy is a ragging devil. Devil boy. Take out the girl. You understand me I say to you? And know that he did what he did. The boy not even have no respect or no care. I bet him likely confess that to some other bridging who him care about, or somebody else. But him never care about Donnelly, and him clearly not care about the parents. So, folks, let's continue to watch. I appreciate everybody staying with us tonight. Thank you for everybody who stayed in the comments with us. Big up to the moderators. This has been the Steady Show with another great one. Thank you.
If you want politics, just turn on.
Green on the chat if you know that JLP is doing well. Green on the chat, folks. Show your love to the Steady Show. Hit the like button right now. It's been another one.
Lose to election and try run back.
Dr. B, big up yourself. Electro, big up yourself. Let me see you in the chat as we go, man. Come on now. Big up, green on the chat, folks. You understand me? Green up the chat, man. Green up, green up, green up. Diane, big up yourself, same way. Big up to everybody. Green on the thing, man.
All you fit in a tax fraud in our parliament, but do help.
Green it up, man.
and no good people, we know them and no good people. If I never
big up, big up.
We don't want a vehicle. Them at about time, come out them way back at time. Them tell PLI I try teach.
Marcia, big up yourself, same way.
Devil and them forget mine. Get the 4 term, it go blow them
up,
mind.
family, up. Just a tap, big up yourself. Family, thank you so much. It's been a great night. Do have a wonderful weekend until we talk again. Heart of love, never short of love. Steady.